quilt's wonky? Or do you wonder what to do about it? Stay tuned because we're going to show you how to fix it.
Okay. Welcome to Saturdays in Stitches, coming at you from Mended Quilting and Boutique in Ellsworth, Iowa. I'm Angela, owner.
And I'm Erin. I'm the sales manager here. And today we're going to talk to you about everything and nothing all at once. And if you don't want to listen, you can just fast forward to the timestamp at the bottom.
Oh, gosh. And somewhere in there we'll have kit talk.
Oh, yes. We're going to talk about this wonderful kit behind us and all kinds of things.
Okay,
yeah.
So what I was saying earlier was, so this ring that I wear sometimes, that's not very nice.
What are you trying to get there?
This ring that I wear sometimes belonged to my great aunt, and it's like from the 1950s. And I really, really like it, and so I was watching this vintage ring auction thing, and I thought, wow, I wonder if I could, maybe I could find another ring that I really like that's maybe, 40s or 1940s, 1950s, something like that. So I'm watching this and looking at the rings, and then the lady said, okay, I have this huge display here in front of me. It's all vintage rings from the 1980s and 90s. I said, no.
Oh my God.
No. I didn't comment on that live, but I was like, no.
So, you remember the Brady Bunch?
Yeah, of course.
There's a reel going around, or a meme or whatever it is, and it says, if you were born in 1983 or later, you're now officially older than Alice, the housekeeper.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. And she, like, when you were little and watched it, she looked so old, and like, yeah, we're probably older than the Golden Girls too.
Shh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm gonna run to get Botox immediately.
Now, I didn't say we look older. I said,
oh, okay.
Well,
here's the thing, though, about the whole how do you look thing, because I saw a reel where they took Alice from the Brady Bunch, and they did a different hairstyle on her. They made her hair, like, long, like what would be the style of somebody in their 50s today.
Right.
Oh, my, it was the hair.
It was her hair. It made a huge, and her maid outfit or uniform or whatever just made her look frumpy in the hair. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. And I've seen that where they take the Golden Girls and, like, put long hair on them and make them, and they don't look as old as they did then. And then when you're young and watching old people, they look older.
Oh my God, that's so
it's
funny.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorites. So the Golden Girls, we got to.
I love them. They were so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and
I feel like I just did this emotional roller coaster in like 2 minutes here.
But then we have these beautiful retro TVs behind us that we're going to talk about, but which brought up the conversation of, do you remember when the TVs used to shut off at midnight?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was midnight. I feel like it was.
I can't remember, midnight or 1. I don't know. Yeah, it was too early when you're a kid and it happens. But yes, and the national anthem would come on. And then you'd get static all over the TV. Static.
So you'd be irritated because there's nothing left on TV to watch.
And you have to wait until, was it 6 a.m. it came back on?
I don't know what time.
Maybe it was midnight to 5 a.m. I don't know.
And then it was probably the news that came on.
Yes, yeah, it was the morning news that came on. Yeah,
nothing
absolutely.
fun.
Yeah.
Maybe Channel 11 maybe had cartoons. PBS.
I mean, so we were having this conversation behind the scenes, like, what would that look like if it was today? What would that look like if your social media is shut down at 1 a.m.?
Maybe people would be mentally healthier if it did. I mean, it would be an adjustment.
It's true.
You'd have like all this freak out for a period, but then maybe
the withdrawal. But
maybe it would be better.
All your TVs, your satellites. I mean, anything TV, anything. Yeah, everything just shuts down. I don't think that these days people can handle it. I mean, we grew up with it. That's what it was for us. It wasn't, even if it was irritating as a teenager or whatever, it
was life. I mean, there was no other choice.
Yeah. And can you imagine the national anthem on everybody's TV? Boom, that's it. Oh my gosh, people would lose it today. Just lose it. But it's a very angry world right now.
The better times. Better days.
The good old days. Now you're aging yourself. The good old days.
I think it would probably be better, too, if you couldn't shop after 1 a.m.
Well, that's true.
Like, if you couldn't purchase stuff between 1 and 6.
Let's be shutting that TikTok shop down.
Late night scrolling, like, I need that. Like, buy now.
That is so true, because I've gotten better. Like, I'll just put stuff in my cart and say to myself, wait till tomorrow morning and see if you think it's still a good idea.
And then you'll get the message, like, it's going to sell out. And it's like, oh, okay, I better go buy it right now.
Apparently we should add that to our marketing.
Right? It's good marketing.
It
I mean,
is.
they get me every time.
It is. Yep, it absolutely is. And like on QVC, they have the countdown of how many's left.
Yes.
And you're sitting there thinking, do I need it? Oh my God, there's only 250 left.
Or the timer. Like, you have 60 minutes to buy this.
At
and then
this
it's
price.
Like,
And then it's done. Oh
yeah.
my goodness.
They know what they're doing. I mean,
They do, of course.
Been
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
So how was your weekend? Did you do anything? Do we remember last week?
It's hard sometimes. Wait, what did I do Saturday? Oh, this is funny. Okay, now I remember. So my two besties and I have not been out in, I don't even know how long it's been. And so we finally all had Saturday free. And so I said, okay, nobody was really deciding. So I said, let's meet in Ames at this restaurant at 11 o'clock. And then we will devise a plan and see how much trouble we can get in for the rest of the day. You want to guess what we did?
What?
We sat in that freaking restaurant for 6 hours.
Oh
and they didn't kick us out. They didn't bother us at all. I mean, our waiter was hilarious, and right away he started giving us a hard time, which is normal. But yeah, we were there for 6 hours, and we just sat there talking. And finally I was like, well, I don't even know what else we do at this point. It's 5 o'clock. And so we just went home.
So I've had 2 meals there.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's crazy. Just crazy.
I'm surprised they let you stay there that long.
Well, and we were being kind and watching, like, during the lunch rush. If there would have not been enough tables, we would have left. But no, we watched the lunch crowd, and then it was like dead in the afternoon, and the workers are like sitting up at the bar area, and then pretty soon here starts to come the supper crowd, and there was still always, it's a big restaurant, so there's plenty of room, but I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
And on Sunday, I organized my sewing room a little bit more, and did some painting. So now I think tonight I'll get the last coat on everything, and then my painting's finally done, thank God. And Thomas came over and helped me put my sewing table together and help me figure out what should go where, so that was good too. How about you?
Well, Saturday I worked. Saturday was embroidery club, and let me tell you, it's Mercury retrograde. And if anything could go wrong, it did go wrong. Machine jammed up, like just all the things. And, but everybody took it in stride. They're like, well, we're glad to see that you're not perfect either. Of course I'm not. Like, but when you're there at Embroidery Club, I try to make it as flowing and easy as possible. And that's not what happened this month.
Well, you don't... I mean, when you're teaching things, I mean, you want people to understand that you're going to make mistakes. We're going to make mistakes, right? But at the same time, you don't want to come off like a complete joker who doesn't know what they're doing. So I think that's a hard line for teachers.
Yes.
Because you don't want to be extremely strict and do it this way and I do it this way and I'm perfect all the time. You don't want to be like that, but you don't want to come off like an idiot either.
No, and it was just some of the things were just out of my control. Like, machines and all the things. So Embroidery Club is shop hop, so the shop was crazy until 2 o'clock. And then after that I had to run a few errands and then I just sat. Like I went home and I didn't want to do anything. Mm-hmm. But Sunday my friend and I went to, so Ryman Gardens is a botanical center at Iowa State. I think, is it part of Iowa State? Or just next to Iowa State? Yeah. They had a big vendor show, so big craft fair. Yeah, they had 80 vendors there. But I had no idea it was going to be that big, so we didn't give ourselves enough time to walk through the whole show. But next year we'll know and plan better and go longer because it was really fun. Oh. It got hot, in the afternoon, but they had vendors inside, outside, everywhere, all through there. So it was cool.
Huh, I guess I never knew about that.
Yeah, well, apparently they do this big vendor show once a year. And I had customers talking about it Saturday, and I'm like, hey, we got tickets, we're going to it. Maybe I'll see you there. Well, that's a joke, because it was so big. I just figured it would be like this small, like, inside where they have a few things set up, but no, it was the whole grounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I saw when they're finally breaking ground, I think they broke ground a long time ago, but I think they're really going to start pushing to get Sci-Town up and going at Iowa State. Mm-hmm. So they took away a whole lot of parking, but it's supposed to have shops and restaurants and then apartment living or something above a lot of those places, is what I understand. I just say that since you were talking about Iowa State, just because we went and toured University of Iowa. I went and toured with Grace, and that's the one thing that kills me, is that town has so much good food. They have so many good restaurants, so much good food, and for the life of me, I just don't understand Ames. And if you're on the council and want to comment below, you go right ahead. But you need better restaurants. You just do.
Well, it's true, and there's not many that are open. I'm sure maybe in Campus Town they're open later, but 9 o'clock you're like searching and
you can if you get out of a movie after 9 o'clock, forget about it.
And I feel like they should be open a little bit later than that.
Yeah.
Oh, but something besides McDonald's.
Well, and we walked in. Well, when we first got there, we drove Monday night after work, so it was a little bit later when we got there, and I was tired, so we just went to Perkins. But it was like I was sitting in a University of Iowa cafeteria. Like the whole entire thing was black and gold. Everywhere. Just everywhere in this restaurant. And I think that's kind of the thing we were talking about, is how supportive Iowa City is of its college. And we were wondering, is that because the hospital is there as well? And so you would have more people coming in and all that stuff. Like, is that why they have so many great restaurants and why the community embraces it so well? Where if you're in Ames, it's like Ames and then Iowa State. Mm-hmm. It's, you know what I mean? There's just not that, like if I go into Perkins in Ames, I don't feel like I'm at Iowa State University. No. I don't feel like it's like that university is even close, and it's very close to that. So it's just a different mindset, I think, too.
Yeah, for sure. But if it was like that, I don't think I would like it.
Really?
I don't want to walk in there and be like, oh, I'm in college. No.
Well, it wouldn't feel like you're in college. It's just like the town. To me, it's like school spirit. Like there's like this town supports their college and their college students.
Yeah.
You wouldn't like it?
I don't think so.
I'm looking at her like, what's wrong with you?
It would annoy me.
Well, I mean, since my husband went to University of Iowa, he might break out in a rash if he had to go into place. It was all Iowa State, but
and I could care less about Iowa State team versus whatever. But I don't want to have that. I don't want to walk into some place and feel like I'm on a campus. No.
Well, I do.
And that's why the world is different.
You would get along on the Ames City Council, I think, then.
Yeah. You keep your Iowa State stuff over on that side of
town. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my. That's hilarious.
I'm just not, I don't know.
I just feel like I feel like that's strange for a college town. Now, I guess I would say anybody who's watching this and wants to pipe in, leave your comment below if you live in a college town or near a college town, and how does that work for your college? Because Luther's that way. The whole town, like, it supports that college and vice versa. So I'm just curious. And I mean that, I'm not saying that Ames doesn't, like, in some way support Iowa State, but I just mean in the sense of when I sit down in a restaurant or I'm in that town, like, I know I'm by Luther College, or I know I'm by University of Iowa.
Yeah. Well, and Fort Dodge is kind of that way with the community college. What are they? The Tritons, I think.
Yeah.
Most places you go in, there's signs about the Tritons and like sponsorships and all the things. Yeah.
I mean, I know there's some places in Ames that do that, but I've never felt like it was based around that college or that it was a college town.
No, which is funny because most of the people, well, not most, but a lot of the people you meet are in college or work at the college or something to do with the college.
Yeah, I think that town, doesn't it double in size when the college kids come back?
Yeah.
And it doubles in size.
Yeah, so go now because it's nice right now.
I was there for something. I don't know what was going on. Oh, so I was trying to go into the restaurant on Saturday, and Duff was insane. And then there was some lady with a picket sign on the side, like, Police Lives Matter. Well, yeah. I didn't know what's happening, and then she flipped it, and there was a date on it, like January 6th or something.
Oh,
this
isn't the same person I saw on Dog.
I don't know what happened. And then the next block, there's another lady with a sign, and I was like, I don't even know. I'm going to turn so I can avoid this. And so I turned and tried to shortcut through Main Street, and it was all blocked off.
It was free parking Saturday,
and they had, like, the street blocked. You couldn't even drive down it.
There was a big consignment shop hop.
Oh.
Like, the consignment shops on Main Street, and then Affordables in Story City. There was a whole bunch in this. I don't know what they called it. I don't think they called it a shop hop, but that's basically what it was. Okay, we're back with Kit Talk.
It just magically appeared in front of me. So we are talking about the kit behind us. It is Scary Influencers Mod TV Kit. Now, what makes this kit special, besides the fact that it's very cool, is there is a QR code in here. And what does that QR code do?
So that QR code will take you to a private YouTube video. You can only access it if you've purchased the kit. And it's a video where I show you how to make a block of the kit. It's not a hard block to make, but it's done in a very different way. So I just wanted to break it down for you so it would be a little bit easier.
So I won't take out all the fabrics because you can see them all behind us here. So we did want to talk about how if you're not into the old scary movies, the old black and white, I mean that's what's on here, the old Dracula and Creature from the Black Lagoon. Yeah, oh my gosh, I love those movies.
That? Isn't there a doctor? Or,
yeah.
Who was that? Or maybe not.
Well,
Doctor Who? No. Doctor Who's not on there?
No. There is a doctor on here, though. I just am not sure about
down
that
there.
one.
Dr. Frankenstein?
Well, you have...
Frankenstein.
Oh, that's Frankenstein's monster.
I wonder if it is Dr. Frankenstein.
Oh.
Yeah. And then, and Frankenstein's Bride and the werewolf and,
And just before we go too far, this is Alexander Henry fabric from his Scary Influencer fabric. And if you are a Alexander Henry fan, you'll know that he passed away and there is no more fabric. So what we have is what we have. Collectible, so maybe you want to put it away. Or you want to make it up so that you have something happy. So just FYI on that.
So let's talk about the fact that, yes, this is very retro, and, y'all may not remember putting aluminum foil on the antennas to be able to watch your favorite show, or actually having to be there at 7 p.m. on the dot, because that's when that show starts, and you're doing the antenna, oh my God, you can't pause that TV.
So I have one of my diaries from when I was like 10. I'm going to say 10 because I don't want to admit I'm any older than that, like at that time, and I wrote in there, like, don't forget whatever show's on next week at, like, oh my gosh.
It's true.
But if you didn't see it, you didn't get it.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
It's just like, it's no different than, like MTV, when MTV came out and you wait like 12 hours to see your favorite Duran Duran video, and then you had to hit record at that time when it comes on. Or if you're listening to the radio and your favorite song comes on.
And then the intro, they were like talking through the intro.
Yeah.
And you have to,
And you're like, oh, shut up. I don't want to hear you talking through my intro.
I wasn't allowed to watch MTV.
You weren't?
No.
I was in front of the TV waiting for it to come on. I was there for the very first premiere of MTV. But don't get too excited because I had black and white TV.
No, when we finally got cable, I was not allowed to go to MTV. So then my friends would come over, and when my parents would leave, we'd turn on MTV.
Oh my God, that's so funny. But that was back in the day when MTV was music videos. Yeah. There wasn't all this crud that...
Saw my first Notorious B.I.G. video on MTV.
Well, no. I waited for Duran Duran and Motley Crue.
Yeah.
Bon Jovi.
And I'm like Tupac and Biggie and... yeah.
She's gangsta.
Yeah.
So, one of the things to point out about this quilt is the Scary Influencers fabric. It's 1 yard of fabric in the kit. So, if this is not your thing, we're going to give you some ideas as to what else you could do with this. One of them being, everybody has seen Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I mean, it's just, how could you not? So, it's still on. My kids watched it growing up. It's still on. Well, it used to be you had to wait till Christmas time to see it.
Yeah,
but now you can
anymore.
see it anytime. But this would be amazing. So I think there's 7 or 8 bolts in this line. And so that would be so fun to put in here. Another one, Thomas the Train. We have Thomas the Train fabric. So,
and this one's perfect because it's like in little squares already, so it's all ready for you to fussy cut it out.
Yes, that would be so cute.
That would be cute.
Another thing you can think about doing is like an I Spy quilt. So this, for instance, we have several colors in this, but all things orange, all things red.
Things that are colors.
And so this is something that you could cut out and put in the TVs for an I Spy quilt for maybe a younger, a younger one. And we have the peanuts. We have it in fat quarters and jellies and 5-inch squares, but the 10-inch squares would be nice because you could fussy cut what you would like to see on here.
Yeah. And then you'd have this cute cartoon TVs.
Yeah. So, I mean, it just when you're thinking about quilt kits, when you're looking at a quilt kit, if there's something you don't like about it, you can always switch it out. Another great idea would be...
So this is my favorite idea. We have this sewable inkjet fabric sheet. So these run through your printer. So you could put whatever picture you wanted on here. You could pick your kids, dogs, cats, you know, whatever. What did you say? Like going through school. Like,
oh, yes.
Like you know,
all
baby or
baby all the way through 12th grade.
Yeah.
And graduation, you know, I mean, that would be really cute.
And since this is all black, white, and gray, if you added more black, white, and gray to it, you could make it bigger if you needed to. A wedding gift, like with their, like, oh, we met and fell in love, like and now we're together, and
the bride's baby picture, the groom's baby picture,
oh my gosh,
as they,
it's endless.
Yeah, it is endless.
So many ideas, and if you've never used these are also great for printing labels for the back of your quilt. If you don't have an embroidery machine, or you don't want to embroider, or you don't want to handwrite it with a pen, you can print out a label on these too.
And as I said earlier as well, like you could, if you have a sports fan, you could put like team pictures or favorite team in here or something like that.
So we're going to have a kit with Derek Jeter printed out 12 different times.
We know you. He's not my type, thank you.
Oh. Well, I'm going to print him out from 10 years ago, not now. But.
Oh my God. Oh, that's hilarious. Maybe I would like him now then if he's older.
Well, he's
older. I don't think I would.
Yeah, I don't think you would either. He is definitely not your type.
No.
But anyway. So if you did have a handsome man in your life that you wanted to print out and put on the TVs, you could do that too.
You could.
I mean, it's just endless when you start thinking about all the things you could do with it, and then it makes it fun to try different ones.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
It's just a fun kit. So try to think out of the box, even when you're looking at a kit, because if you don't like a particular fabric, you know, it's very easy to swap out a focal fabric. Maybe you have a focal fabric in your stash, or you have, you know, something in your stash that you would like to see in these particular blocks, then, you know, buy the kit and swap out the fabric. So, yeah. Yep.
All right.
Well, that's what we have for you today on Kit Talk.
Makes me excited. I want to go make a different version of it now.
Okay, so stay tuned for our demo. One of the things that we wanted to talk about is when you're working on a kit, don't cut your entire kit out all at once. So when you're going through and it tells you a certain fabric is for your borders, don't cut those out. You're going to want to wait on all of that. Cut out the pieces you're going to need for your blocks and hold off on any sashing strips and any border strips. Reason being is your 1/4 inch isn't the same as the pattern writer's 1/4 inch. And just because a pattern says that border is 54 inches, it doesn't mean by the time you've pieced everything and put it together that yours is going to be that size. And yes, we all want to be as perfect as we can. when we're sewing, but again, we're human beings. This is a craft, and we just do our best to make it look nice. So, let's see, did you want to add anything to that?
The quilt we're going to show you in a little bit is going to be a good example of why you don't want to cut everything ahead of time, because I got crazy and I did cut everything on a panel quilt, and then you have to make everything work, and it's hard. It's fine if you can sew stuff back together, but if you don't have enough fabric, then you're going to get yourself in trouble.
So we are just going to say that this is going to apply to whether you are putting sashing strips on or whether you're putting a border on. It does not matter. It's the same process. So typically you are going to put your side pieces on first. And so when you want to figure out your length here that you need those pieces to be, you need to measure your quilt or your quilt block, whatever it is, in 3 spots.
And when we say that, that means lay it flat. Don't just try and measure it quick. Like, try and lay it as flat as possible, because if you have it bunched or you have it moved around, you're going to get different measurements than if it's flat.
And so I'm just going to do easy math. I'm just going to throw some numbers out here. So let's just say that you measure this side and it's 5 inches, and then this side is 5 3/4. Go up here, there we go. And then this side is 5 inches. So easy math, whatever your measurements end up being, you're going to average them out. So for this end, it's going to be 5 1/4 inches is what you are going to want to cut your side borders. So what that's going to do is when you do that, then you're going to, let's say that this is my border, you're going to pin at both sides. And yes, this is way too much to ease in. It's way too much to ease in. I'm just showing you this exaggerated so that you understand what I'm talking about. So you're just going to pin this at both sides, and then as you start going, bigger on the bottom, baggy on the bottom, whatever lingo you want to say to remember, you want to put the bigger piece along those feed dogs, and you are going to sew that in. So what that is going to do is it's going to magically ease in that bottom fabric.
So do you pin in the center?
It's up to you.
Okay, because I always pin in the center.
I
line up my centers and then go out.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it too. So you could find the center of this. You could find the center of your top piece. You could find the center of this, pin, and then sew out and sew out. You can do it that way as well.
And then when it's baggy like that, I mean, obviously this is exaggerated. I pin a lot to try and keep it, to get it together.
Yes.
I use a lot of pins when I need to ease it together. So
again, we're human beings. We're working with fabric. It's stretchy. It's all the things. We're hope that we cut it the right way, but you know, sometimes that ruler slips. Sometimes we sewed, you know, maybe I might have sewn here 1/4 inch, but over here it was a little off. It wasn't quite my 1/4 inch because I was sewing like a speed demon, which is what I enjoy doing. So this is just how you can ease those borders in. And then you're going to do the exact same thing across this direction. Exact same thing across here when you go to put on your top and your bottom borders. So if you have cut everything out of that kit to begin with, and then you go and measure this, that's when it can cause you problems. You don't want to come here and add this border on that you've already pre-cut and have it come out maybe this far and then just trim it off. because if you do that, then you're going to end up with what I say, a wonky quilt. But let's just talk about it I won't use my silly terminology for a minute, and I will explain a little bit better in detail. So if you were to just cut this off right along here to make this piece fit, you're going to have distorted and stretched edges, which again, that's what's going to make it wonky. Sometimes when you're adding these on and you're just pulling and cutting and making things fit, well, you could lose points. You could lose points if you have, say, when you piece this along this edge, you have like some kind of half square triangles or something where you have points coming up to that border. And you may have done a really good job on your points and lining them up, but if you're just pulling your borders and stretching or cutting or whacking off here to make it fit, then you can lose those points that you work so very hard to make. So that is another reason.
And another thing that can happen, because this was my experience, the quilt I made, one side of it was pieced. It had a lot of little pieces. The other side was more like strips. So not as much piecing on that side. And then when you just cut off this, then the side with not a lot of piecing got a lot longer because it I don't know what happened. It just got very off-sided. So one side got longer, one side was shorter because one side stretched more than the other.
And so why that happens is the structural integrity of the quilt. When you're just stretching, pulling, cutting that way, the center of your quilt has a lot of stretchy, biased edges. And so when you put your borders or your sashing on, that stabilizes those. But if you're just going to continue to pull and stretch and cut here and cut there, it's not going to stabilize the center. You're going to destabilize your borders as well, which is what causes your quilt to be wonky. And my other fun thing to say is you can also end up with a pregnant quilt. So, and I've gotten them before. People bring them in and they're like, "Can you quilt this quilt?" And I'm, you flatten it, you lay it all out, and then the whole center is pregnant. It's poofy. And so that happens because you have tried to pull and work, and maybe the pattern said, "Hey, this is a 54-inch strip," and you're like, "Well, no, mine's 56. I'm going to make this 54-inch work, and it's a 56." And you've worked that in. That's what happens. Then all of this is just going to pucker up on you. And sometimes if you pull too much as you're trying to work in a sashing strip or a border strip, you're going to have waves. Like, I lay them out on my long arm quilting machine to quilt them, and the borders are just in waves. Now I can pin and spray and steam the heck out of it, and I do my very best, but there have been times where then you end up having to take a tuck in one of the side borders. You have to fold it over and make it kind of look like a seam. And if you've worked really hard to have that full strip with no seams, maybe you've cut a certain fabric design and you wanted that design to look a certain way, if it's all wavy, your quilter's going to do the very best they can, but they may have to take tucks in here. And I've had to take tucks where they've gone all the way into the piecing in order to get the quilt to lay flat. So it's a good idea to do your very best when you're doing these and actually measure. And if you're not concerned about that and you're just making a quick quilt that your little one's going to drag around on the floor and you're not worried about it, go ahead and try it and play with it, and then you'll kind of see as you go. Mm-hmm. And then pretty soon you'll kind of grow in your craft and you will say, okay, I need to square up my blocks a little bit better. I need to,
work on cutting. Being consistent with your cutting is a big thing.
Yeah, so, and not just the wavy borders. If you have, if your quilt is not square and it's excessive on the sides, as I'm quilting it and coming down, what will happen is this bottom border, because I'm trying to straighten and pull and work in, sometimes instead of the bottom of your quilt being straight, it will end up like this. So that will be the bottom of what your quilt looks like. It'll just have this big, instead of being straight across like this, because I've had to work in all those seams. So I hope that, I hope that makes sense. It's kind of, I know it's kind of hard to see, and sometimes it's backwards on the screen. I hope that it wasn't, but I think, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say another thing to remember that we talk about this a lot, is to press it, don't iron it. So when you're using your iron, just press it down and push a little bit. But if you're ironing it like you would clothes, then you're going to get stretched. So again, it all goes back to stretching and all the things. But it's amazing when I see a new quilter just take the iron and just press and pull, and it's going to mess things up.
Iron, like you're taught when you iron your shirts, or pressing.
Instead of just pressing down and warming up the fabric.
And again, keeping everything in mind, it's fabric. You can make it do what you want it to do. Just, you can, if you have to take a little bit more in on your seam because it's not lining up quite right, take a little more in on your seam. And don't, I don't know if any of you do this or not, but don't worry what the back of your pieced top looks like. And do you have what you're going to show? Let me get this out of the way. So, and what I mean is sometimes there's confusion when I say that, but what I am saying is, this is the top of this is your piece top. Nobody is concerned what this looks like unless, it's 200 years down the road and my quilt's in a museum for some reason and they're going to tear it apart and analyze it. Hey, I'm not going to be here and it doesn't matter. So don't be so concerned about what this looks like as you're starting and you're working on your quilts, or no matter how long you've been doing it. This is what you want to be beautiful right here. And I've had clients bring their quilts in and they were so upset because they didn't want to bring them into me because they didn't want me to see what this part looked like. I don't tell anybody what that looks like. It does not matter, because once this is laid out on the batting and your back and it's quilted beautifully, you're not going to see that. Nobody is going to be concerned about that. And I don't know why that became a thing, but it really is a thing for a lot of people. So okay, what did you want to say about your pretty quilt?
So I just want to talk quick about this. It is a panel in the center, and the instructions tell you to cut everything all at once, whatever the instructions say, and that's what I did. And I know better. I just decided one day I was going to cut it all out, so I did. But then I had to work all these these are all triangles, so bias cut, stretchy, and I had to work all these back into it because they weren't adding up. So especially when you have a panel or a free pattern, make sure you're taking the extra time to measure even your panels, like every step, because it would have been a lot easier to work on that at the time than at the end when I was frustrated and throw it at Angela and just say, I don't know what to do.
True story.
Yeah, I'm not exaggerating with that, but and we have all these panel books that talk about panels, and this one I just wanted to show this is one that we sell all the time, forever, and it talks about math and tells you things like that, like measure it first and then cut it, you know, do the 3 measurements, average it out. It's just very important with panels, especially because panels are going to be printed weird anyway. So this is the kit, though, in case anybody's wondering. Nature's Bliss, and it's going to be spectacular, and my quilter is going to finish it and make it even better, and it's going to be beautiful, and my dad's going to love it someday when it sells out at the shop. But just an example, like, we know better, we run out of time, we run out of patience, so take your time, do the measurements, do all the things to make a pretty quilt. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that was said beautifully.
Yes, and I will just show you, since we were talking about it, where I lost my points because I had to pull and stretch and make it all the things. But in the long run, I wasn't going to take it out for that.
And that's something everybody has to decide for themselves.
Yeah, right.
You know, you can rip it out and rip it out and rip it out to a point where you have stretched and made the fabric just not workable anymore. So sometimes it's about accepting it. And I've always said, and I always will say, if you show this to somebody and they're like, oh, you cut off your point there, well, then just move away from them and don't spend time with them. Because that is a terrible thing to do, because you put in a lot of work into your beautiful works of art.
Yes.
And if you're gifting it, don't point it out.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's a big thing, too.
Don't tell on yourself.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I made this for you, but look where I messed up. Like, nobody but you is going to know that for the most part.
No.
Yep.
Nope, they're not. This is a beautiful quilt, though. Look at those. Oh.
I know, I love it.
Yeah. It's fish.
So, make sure you like, comment, and share us with your friends so they can hang out with us every Saturday as well. And
yeah, so thanks for hanging out with us today on Saturdays in Stitches. And if you would like to see us talk about something in particular, put it down in the comment section. Yeah, so we will see you next Saturday.